Hey everyone, welcome back to the Frontend Insight. In today's video, we are going to tackle a popular JavaScript interview questions. How do you find the longest word in? Okay, so it's a simple but powerful problem that can help you strengthen your understanding of loops, string methods, and basic logic. So let's dive into it. So the goal here is simple. Given a sentence, we need to find the longest word in that sentence. For example, if the sentence is I love programming, if the sentence is I love programming, if the sentence is I love programming, the longest word should be programming. Okay, so we will write a function called uh, longest word, and that takes a sentence as an input and return the longest word. Okay, so let's start by defining the function. We we call it the find longest word. Find longest word. Okay, so we have this function. So and we have a argument here sentence. So we are taking the argument here sentence. Okay, and it will take one argument as a sentence. Okay, then the first thing we need to do is break this sentence into individual words. So we can easily do that using JavaScript split method. Okay, so method so we will split it by space. Okay, so let word into sentence, then we use the split and we split it by space. Okay, so this gives us an array of words. Let me rewrite the variable. So this gives us an array of words. So if the input sentence is I love programming with JavaScript, we will get an array like this. So we will get an array like this. Let me write words. So we will get the array like this. I love programming with array means we will get the 5 elements in array. Okay. So next we need a variable to store the longest word we have found so far. So let's call it the longest word. Let's call it the longest word. And we initially set it as empty string. Okay, now looping through the words. So now we need to loop through the array of words and check the length of each word. So we will use for of loop for this. Okay, let me write the for loop. Okay, so we have, I'm taking the variable word of words. Okay, so inside the loop we will compare the current word's length with the length of the longest word. Okay, if the current word is longer, we will update the longest word. Okay, so let's write the condition here. If word dot length is greater than longest word dot length. Then we will longest word. We assign the longest word as a word. Okay, we'll update the longest word here. So we are updating the longest word here. Okay, so finally once the loop finishes, our longest word will contain the longest word in the sentence. Okay, I mean this variable longest word will contain the longest word in the sentence. Means we have this sentence, so all we have to do it in return. Okay, so return longest word. Okay, so now let's test this function using the sentence I love programming. Okay, so let me write a console find longest word, and we are passing the string I love programming with JavaScript. Okay, if we run this, we should see programming as the output, which is indeed the longest word in the sentence. Let me save it and then let me run it. Node. I guess we made some mistake here. Oh, we are returning here in for loop. That is wrong, so we need to return it after for loop. Let me save it and then again try it. So now we get the output programming. So programming is the longest word here. Okay, let's try with some other word, other string. With you. Okay, let me save it and try it again. So now we get with you here. Okay, so and there you have it. Okay, so that's how you can find the longest word in a sentence using basic JavaScript, and this is a common question you might encounter in coding interviews, and now you know how to handle it with ease. If the string is palindrome or not. Checking if the string is palindrome or not. Okay, so palindromes are words or phrases that read the same forward and backward, like madam or a race car, uh, like madam or race car. Okay, so let's build a simple JavaScript function to check if a string is palindrome or not. Okay, so as I said, a palindrome is a word that remain the same when reversed. So if we input madam, it should return false because if we it should return true. But if we input hello, it should return false because hello is not the same. And let me if we put input madam, it should give a true, and if we give hello, it should give false, because if we reverse the hello, it is not the same as the actual string. Okay, so let's build a simple okay, so we will write a function called isPalindrome, and that takes a string as an input and check if it's a palindrome or not. Okay, so let's start by defining the function. We will call it isPalindrome. Okay, so isPalindrome. is palindrome. It's our function. Okay, so we create the function expression. Okay, and it will take one argument. Let's see, we will take the str, and our logic will goes here. Okay, now our first task is to reverse the input string. To do this, we will loop through each character in the string and build a new string called reverse string. Okay, so but we will add each character at the beginning. Okay, so let's get started. So we need to write our logic here. Okay, let's take a variable. Let reversed string. Okay, we will make it for blank as earlier. Then we will take we will take a for loop. Okay, let char of str means the string, the argument we use in the function. Okay, then we reverse the string plus we add the reverse. Okay, so if the input is madam, the reversed will be madam. Okay, after the loop, but if the input is hello, reversed will be ole. Okay, let's see. If the string is madam, the string is madam. Okay, its reverse will be madam only. If the string is hello, its reverse is OLLEH. Okay, that will be false. Okay, okay. So now that we have the reverse string, we just need to compare it. We just need to compare it to the original string. If they are same, we know it's a palindrome. Okay, so we need to return the str, means the argument we have taken, and the logic we have added, the reverse string. Okay, okay. If the str is equal to reverse string, if the str is equal to the reverse string, the function will return true. Otherwise, it will return false. Okay, so let's test our function with couple of example. Okay, first we will try madam, and which should return true because it's a palindrome. Okay, so let me console it. Log is palindrome, and then we pass the argument here as a madam first. Okay, otherwise let's take a variable. Down here. Both the way you can do it, but okay. Okay, so let's test it with madam. Let me save it first. Then yeah, we get the string madam. Oh, sorry, we need to pass this palindrome. Okay, we made some mistake here. Oh, sorry, we are assigning the value. This should be triple equal to. It will check the string as well as the type. Okay, let's try it again. Okay, now the output is true. The console is true. Okay, so it means the string madam is palindrome. Okay, now next, let's test with hello. This should return the false. Let me choose the hello, save it, and then run it again. So see, we get the false here. We get the false here. Okay, so because hello is not the same when reversed. Okay, and yeah, that's it. We have successfully written the JavaScript function to check if a string is palindrome or not. Okay, so palindrome are a great way to practice string manipulation and logic in JavaScript. How to remove duplicates from an array. Okay, so if you are working with arrays, you may encounter duplicate values, and knowing how to filter them out is essential. Okay, so let's write a simple function to remove the duplicates. Okay, so so the problem we want to solve is straightforward. We have an array and that may contain duplicate values, and we want to return a new array with only the unique elements. For example, if the input is for example if the input is if the input is 1 2 2 3 4 double 4 and then 5, the result should be 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, so we will be write a function called remove duplicates, and that takes an array and array as argument and as an input, and returns a new array with duplicate removed. Okay, so let's write the code. Okay, let me write the function remove duplicates. And we have an argument input. Okay, so our logic will go here. Logic will be here. Okay, so to store the unique elements, we will need a new array, unique array. So let's initialize this as an empty. Okay, so let's write the unique array. Okay, we will take this as an empty. Okay, so next we will use a for of loop to iterate through each element of the input array. Let me write the for loop. Let item of array, and here we will write if the item is already in unique array. Okay, so this loop will go through each value of the array, and one by one for each item we will check if it's already in the unique array. Okay, so let's write the logic to check if the current item is already in unique array. We will use the include method. If item is not found, we will push it to the unique array. Let me write the logic for this. If the unique array dot includes item, if the item is not available, then only we will push the item in unique array. Okay, so the include method check if the array already contain the value. If it doesn't, we add. If it doesn't, we add the value to the unique array. Okay, so after the loop finishes, unique array will contain all the unique values from the original array. We just need to return it. Okay, so we just need to return it. Then we return unique array. Okay, so now let's test this function with the example of. Okay, let me console it. Console.log. Then this is the array. Right. Remove case. And I'm passing this array here. Okay, now let's test it. So this confirms that the function is working correctly and successfully removes the duplicate from the array. Okay. So let me explain the code once again. Okay, so let's quickly break down the logic. We loop through the input array, and for each item we check if it's already in our unique array. If it's not, we add it. This ensures that we only keep unique values and any duplicates are ignored. Okay, so the include method is efficient for arrays, but for large arrays there are more optimal ways to handle the duplicates, like using sets. Okay, so but for the simplicity and clarity, this solution works great for the smaller data sets. And that's it. We have written a simple but effective JavaScript function to remove duplicates from an array. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and let me know if let me know in the comments what other coding challenges you would like to see. Thank you. JavaScript coding challenge: reversing a string without any built-in methods. Reversing a string without using any built-in methods. Okay, so this is a great exercise for sharpening your logic and understanding how string works in JavaScript. Let's dive into it. Okay, so the problem is simple. Given a string, so we need to reverse it. Given a string, we need to reverse it, but we won't use any built-in function like split, reverse, or join. So for example, if the input string is hello, the output should be OLLEH. Okay, so let's start by writing a basic function outline. We will call this function reverse string, and it will take a string str as its argument. Okay, so let's write a function reverse string. We will take the argument str, and our logic goes here. Okay, so to build the reverse string, we need an empty string. that we will add character to one by one and starting from the end of the input string. Okay, so let me write. Okay, so let reverse string Okay, this is a variable I take and I make it empty. Okay, so here's reverse string will store the reverse version of the string. Okay, so now we need to look through the original string, but instead of going from left to right, we will go from right to left. We will start at the last character and move toward the first. Okay, so let's write the for loop here. Right, I signed and to q dot length minus 1, then I is greater than equal to 0, then I minus minus. Okay, that's the loop we will use. So here I equal to str dot length minus 1 starts us at the last character of the string. The loop will continue until I reaches to 0, where we have the first letter. Okay, so for each iteration of the loop, we will access the current character using str of I and add it to the reversed string, the variable we have. Okay, so reverse string variable we have, and then we will add str of index. Okay, I means so I means the I we have used here in a for loop. Okay, so this lines takes the character from the end of the string and add it to the reverse string. So if the input is hello, reverse string will start as O, then the reverse string will start as O, then OL, then OLL, and then OLLE, and then finally OLLEH. Okay, so once the loop is finished, we have successfully built the reverse string. Now all we need to do is return it. Okay, so let's return it. Return the variable we have used, return string. Okay, so this will give us the final reverse string. Okay, so let's test our function with a couple of examples. We will try hello, and we should return OLLEH OLE, and JavaScript we should return TPIR CSAVAJ. Okay, so let me write the console log reverse string, and then we are passing here hello. Let me save it and then run it. So we got the final output here, OLLEH. Okay, so let's try with JavaScript and log reverse string and then JavaScript. Let me save it and then run it again. So here is the output, JavaScript TPIR. So So this is the final output for JavaScript. The reverse string of JavaScript is this one. Okay, so as you can see, the function works perfectly. Now let's look at the full code together. Okay, so to break it down, we start with an empty string, that is reverse string. Okay, so we loop through the original string from the last character to the first character. So here we loop through to the original string from last character to one to the first character. Okay, so for each character we add it to the reverse string. So each character we are adding to the reverse string here. Okay, and okay, so once the loop ends, we return the reverse string, which now contain the reverse string. So we are returning the reverse string in this reverse str variable. Okay, the loop runs backward from the end of the string to the beginning. So we build the reverse version step by step. And yeah, and there you have it. We have written a simple function that reverses a string without using any built-in method. So this is the great example of how you can use loop and string manipulation to solve coding problems. Okay, if you found this video helpful, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more such JavaScript coding challenges or coding interview questions. Thank you. Please like, share, and subscribe. Finding the maximum number of consecutive ones in an array. Okay, so this problem often comes up in a coding interviews. So understanding how to solve it step by step will be super helpful. Okay, so let's have a problem explanation. The problem we need to solve is to identify the longest stage of consecutive ones. Okay, in an array that contains only zeros and ones. Okay, so for example, our input array is if our input array is 110 11101. Okay, so which is so we want to find the longest sequence of consecutive ones, so which is in this case is 3, means we have 3 consecutive ones here. Okay, so that will be our output. Okay, so let's start by creating a function max consecutive ones. Okay, let me create find max consecutive ones. Okay, and we will take an array as an input. So ARR is an input, it's the argument we have take. Okay, then to keep track of the longest sequence of ones, we will need two counters: max count to store the maximum sequence we find, and current count to keep track of the current sequence of ones as we loop through the array. Okay, so let's take two variable. Let max count one variable, this could be 0 at first, and then let current count, and this could also be 0 at first. Okay, so max count will hold the highest number of consecutive ones we have encountered so far. So while current count will count the current sequence of ones. Okay, so now we will use a for of loop to iterate through each element in array. So for each element we will check if it's a ones, or zeros. Okay, so let me write a loop for for of loop I'm using. Okay, so let me name the num and the array we have taken b. Okay, so here we will check. We check here if num is 1 or 0. Okay. Okay, so this loop will go through each item. This loop is go through each item in array and allowing us to check if each item is 1 or 0. Okay, so if num is 1, we will increase the counter. We will increase the current count by 1, since it means we are in a sequence of consecutive ones. Okay, so let me write below. If num is equal to 1, then we will we will increase the current counter plus. Okay, and here we are counting each one. We are counting each one we encountered by adding it to current count, which help us keep track of the current sequence of the consecutive ones. Okay, so let's handle the zeros then. If num is 0, it means our sequence of ones has ended, so we will check if current count is greater than max count. If it is, we will update max count. So let me write the else. In else case, max count is equal to math dot max, that is the inbuilt function we are using, and we are comparing the max count and current count. Okay, and the current count we are making 0 in else case if the num is 0. Okay, so the math.max function compares the max count and current count. If current count is larger, max count gets updated. Then we reset current count to 0 since the sequence ended. Okay, so after the loop, we might still have a sequence of ones that didn't end with 0. Okay, so we will do one last check to see if current count is greater than max count. Then max count is equal to math.max and max count and then current count. We're comparing it here and then we return the okay. And this is the final check. Ensure that if the longest sequence of ones is at the end of the array and we don't miss it. Okay, so finally we return the max count, which now holds the maximum number of consecutive ones in an array. Okay, so we return max count. Okay, so let's test it, our function, with an example. For an array, the longest executive ones should be 3. So we have given this array. We will log this array first. Okay. I'm sorry. Let me call this function log, then find max consecutive ones, and we'll pass this array. Okay, so as expected, we expected the count should be 3. Okay, let me save it and then okay, there might be some issue. Let me check. Okay, so I guess we made mistake here because we took const here. It should be let, so it allows us to update the value. In case of const, it will not change the value. Okay, we are getting issue. Let me check once. Okay, yeah, I got a mistake. How? Me? Yeah, it should be outside array, outside for loop. Then only it will work. We are returning it in for loop. Okay, let me clear this and let me clear this and run it again. Yeah, now we got the expected output. Okay, now we got the expected output. Our function returns 3, so which is the longest sequence of consecutive ones in an array. Okay, so let's here's the complete code with each part we discuss put together. Okay, so we will loop through the array. We will loop through the array, counting each one we encounter. Okay, if we hit 0, we compare the current sequence count with our maximum count. Here we are comparing. Okay, and we reset the current count to 0. Okay, count to 0 after each 0. Okay, after the loop we do one last check to ensure the longest sequence is captured. Okay, longest sequence is captured. So this is an efficient way. To find the longest sequence of ones in an array without needing nested loops. Okay, so and there you have it. We have built a function to find the maximum number of consecutive ones in an array. If you how to write a program to find the factorial of a given number in JavaScript. Okay, so this is a fundamental programming problem that helps you understand loops, recursion, and maths in coding. Okay, so let's break it down. Okay, so a factorial of a positive number n, okay, is the product of all positive integer from 1 to n. Okay, suppose 1 to n. Okay, so in mathematical terms, n factorial is n into n minus 1 into n minus 2 or like this. Last is 1. Sorry. Like this, and then 1, and then is 1. Okay, so for example, let's take a 5. The factorial of 5 is going to be 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. Okay, so and which is equal to 120. Okay, so this is how the factorial work. 5 factorial. Okay, so let's start by defining our function. We call it find factorial, and it will take a number n as an argument. Okay, so let me write the function. Okay, so find factorial. Okay, and we will give pass and okay. Okay, so we will start by defining a variable result and setting it to 1. Okay, this is because the factorial of 0 or 1 is 1. So we want a base value of 1. Okay, so that is why we give the result as a base value 1. Okay, so now result will store the product of numbers as we multiply them in loop. Okay, let's save it. Okay, so now we will use a for loop to multiply all numbers from 1 up to n. We will start the loop at 1 and go up to including n. Okay, so for for I equal to 1, I less than equal to n up to less than equal to, and then we will do I plus plus. Okay, also this loop we will use. Okay, and then we multiply result, whatever result is of I. Okay, so here result into equal to I is a short way of writing. It's a short way of writing result equal to result into I. Okay, so each time we go through the loop, we are multiplying result by I and building up the factorial. Okay, so once the loop is done, the result will contain the factorial of n. Okay, so let's return the result. Okay, return result. We save it. Okay, and this will give us the final answer when we call the function. Okay, so let's test our function with a few examples to make sure it's working as expected. Okay, so we write the factorial, find factorial, and okay, let me log it first. Console log, then find factorial, and we will pass some value here. Let's pass 5. Okay, so as earlier I explained, the result should be 120. Okay, let me save it once again. So, and let's test our function. Okay, so the result should be 120. So we got the result. Okay, we should, it is returning 120. Let's try with some other example. We'll copy it quickly. And let's pass 6. Okay. I don't know what would be the factorial of 6. Let's try. The factorial of 6 is 120. Sorry, 720. Okay, so the output is 720. So as expected, the function return the correct result. Okay, so let's look at the entire code now, and here's a simple breakdown of how this code works. Okay, we start with result. Okay, we assign the value 1 to the result. Okay, then we use a loop, the for loop, to multiply result by each number of n. Okay, each number of n. Okay, so once okay, so once the loop finishes, result hold the factorial of n and we return it. Okay, so this method is efficient and easy to understand for calculating the factorial. Okay, so for those interested, there are also recursive way to solve this, where the function calls itself until it reaches 1. If you'd like a video on that, let me know in the comment. Okay, so yeah, that's it. We have written a simple and effective function to calculate a factorial of any positive integer. If you found this video helpful, be sure to like, subscribe, and let me know in the comment what coding challenges you would like to see the next. Thank you. Popular coding problem, meaning two sorted arrays into a single array. Okay, so we will use both predefined JavaScript method for an easy solution and understand each step clearly in layman's terms. Okay, so the problem is to take two already sorted arrays like 0, 3, 4, 31 and 4, 6, 30. Okay, and merge them into one sorted array 0, 3, 4, 4, 6, 3, 30 and 31. Okay, so because each array is already sorted, we just need to merge them without sorting each item individually. Okay, so let's start by looking at the quick solution using the JavaScript built-in method. Okay, this is the great approach when you are looking for an efficient and one-line solution. Okay, so let me write const the array 1. Okay, that is our array 1. Const array 2. Okay, so let's merge it const then merge array. This is the simple way. You can say one-liner solution. Array 1 comma, we are using the spread operator here. The 3 dot is a spread operator, and then we sort it. Sort a arrow function, and let me add the bracket here. Okay, so let me console it. So this is the one-liner solution. Let me save it, and our output should be this. Our output should be this. Okay, let me run the program. Okay, so 0, 3, 4, 4, 6, 30 and 31. So we get the expected out. Okay, so let's break down this code line by line. Okay, so first we take const array 1 and second the array 2, and we are assigned the arrays. Okay, so for first array 0, 3, 4, 31 and for second array 4, 6, 30. Okay, are the two sorted arrays, is already sorted arrays, and we wanted to merge it. Okay, so for this we take one variable merged array. Okay, and here we uses the spread operator to combine both arrays into one. Okay, and then we use sort a comma b, and then we use the sort method here, and this sorts this combined array in ascending order. Okay, so this is the simple and effective, but let's go deeper and see how to merge without dot sort. Okay, This solution is a simple and effective, but let's go deeper and see how to merge without using dot sort method. Okay, so now let's create a merge sorted array, a function that merges these two arrays without using dot sort method. Okay, so we will use pointer to make the process efficient. Okay, so merged sorted arrays. Okay, this is the method we have, and we are passing, and we write the function, and we are passing two arrays, array 1 and array 2. Okay, array 1 and array 2. Okay, and then we will take variable equals to merged array. Okay, and we make it blank at first, and let I equal to 0, and j we are taking two variable, and initially we set it as 0. Okay, and we will use the while loop here. While I less than array 1 dot length and j less than array 2 dot length. Okay, and we write the condition here then. If array of I is less than array 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 1. Array 1 of I is less than array 2 of j. Okay, we are comparing the values directly here. Then we use the merged array dot push. Okay, and we add array 1 of I there. Okay, if array 1 of I is less than array 2 of j, then we push the array 1 of I, and vice versa we will do it else loop. So in else case, merged array dot push. So here we push array 2 dot j, array 2 of j. Okay, and yeah, we need to increase the value of I plus plus here, and we are pushing array to j well in array 2, so we need to increase the value of j here. Okay, this is all sorted. Okay, so the while loop, we need to return merged array, and we need to concat array 1 dot slice of I. Okay, and concat array 2 dot slice then j. Okay, so yeah, so this is our code without inbuilt methods. Okay, so let's go through this code in simple terms. So first, we take merge array as is an empty array where we will store our merge result. Okay, and then we create two variables I and j, and I and j, and we initialize 0 in both the variables. Okay, so to keep track of where we are in array 1 and array 2. Okay, so here, here's the logic of loop we will using. Okay, so we will use while I less than array of 1 dot length and j less than array of array 2 dot length. So which runs as long as there are elements left in both arrays. Okay, so if array 1 of I is less than array 2 of j, checks if the current element is smaller. If it is, we add it to the merged array. Okay, and move to the next element in array 1 by doing I plus plus. Okay, so else means the current element in array 2 is smaller or equal, so we push it into merged array. Okay, and increment j means j plus plus to check the next element in array 2. Okay, so one array one array might have leftover elements, so we add them to merge array with concat method. Okay, so array 1 dot slice of I and array 2 dot slice j. Take any leftover elements and add them to the final arrays. Okay, so let's test our function with the same arrays to confirm it works or not. Okay, so let me write log and the sorted array, and we will pass this to arrays test. Okay. To cure the comma. Okay, we will pass this to arrays. Okay, so let me run it again. So we get the expected answer here: 0, 3, 4, 4, 6, 3, 0, 30 and 31. Okay, so here's the entire code for merging two sorted arrays without dot sort methods. So from here, without sort method, we have added the logic for merging two arrays. Okay, so and that's it. We have covered two ways to merge and sort arrays: a quick method with JavaScript built-in dot sort method, and the manual approach without dot sort method. Okay, checking if every value in one array has a square equivalent in another array. Okay, so this problem is great for practicing array manipulation, understanding frequencies, and is commonly asked in coding interviews. So let's dive in. Okay, so here's the problem. We have two arrays. Okay, so array 1 and array 2. Okay, we need to check if every number in array 1 has its square in array 2. Okay, so for example, if array 1 is 1, 2, 3 and array 2 is 1, 4, 9. Okay, the function should return true because 1 in array 1 has 1 square in array 2. Okay, so 2 in array 1 has 4 in array 2. 3 in array 1 has 9 in array 2. Okay, so it will give 2. Okay, so but if array 1 is 1, 2, 3 and array 2 is 1, 4, 4, it should return false since there is no 9. There is no 9 for 3. Okay, so in array 2, and there's an extra 4. Okay, so let's start by defining our function. We will call it hash square match, and it will take two arrays, array 1 and array 2 as an argument. Okay, so let me write hash square match. Okay, so it will take two arrays, array 1 and array 2. Okay, and our logic will go here. Okay, so the first thing we can check if whether array 1 and array 2 have the same length. If they don't, we know right away that they can't match, so we will return false. So we write our logic here. If array 1 dot length is not equal to array 2 dot length, so we will return false here. Okay, so this quick check can save time, because if the arrays don't have the same length, it's impossible for all values to match as per the rule. Okay, so next we need to count how many times each value appears in both arrays. Okay, so we can do this by creating empty objects. Okay, so by creating empty object means two empty objects. So let's say frequency counter 1 and the frequency for frequency counter 1 for array 1 and frequency counter 2 for array 2. So let's create the variable let frequency counter 1 giving empty object, then frequency counter 2. Okay, so these objects will help us to track the count for each value and making it easy to compare the frequencies later. Okay, so now we will loop through array 1 and populate the frequency counter 1 with each number, and its count will do the same for array 2 and store those counts in frequency counter 2. Okay, so for array 2. Okay, let me write for, so we will use for of, okay, so this is 12 and this is our array 1. Okay, so let me quickly copy it. Because we are doing this for array 2 as well, the same thing. Okay, then we have frequency counter 1 of val. Okay, then we need to frequency counter 1 of val or 0, then we will add 1. Okay, so for same thing for, so we will do the same thing for frequency counter 2. Okay, so this means every time we encounter a value, we increase its count in the respective frequency counter. Okay, so for here we will do for array 1 and this is for array 2. Okay, So now comes in the main logic. Okay, so we will loop through each key in frequency counter 1 and check if the array of the key exists in frequency counter 2. Ensure that the count of the square in frequency counter 2 matches the count of the original value in frequency counter 1. Okay, so let me write that. So again it's a for, sorry, write for let key of, sorry, let key in frequency counter 1 if key into frequency counter 1, sorry, frequency counter 2 is yeah, should be not occur नहीं रहेगा. If it is not there, okay, then we return false. Okay, then again we need to write it again, the condition. If frequency counter 2 key to square, this means the square, double multiplication sign in this, and the square, okay, then is not equal to frequency counter 1 of key, so this will return false. So if any squared values is missing or has a different count, we return false. If everything matches, we continue. Okay, so we continue. Okay, so finally, if the loop completes without returning false, it means all values in array 1 have their squared counterparts in array 2. So with the same frequency, so we return true. Okay, so return true. Okay, so let's test our function with few examples. So for example, to see if it works, first we will test it with the matching arrays and then a non-matching case. Okay, so let me console it log as squared match, and we will pass two arrays we already have, that is 123 and 249, 149, and 149. Let's test this. It should give us true. Okay, so the array we passed is correct arrays. So it's given us the true. Okay, let's try with some other array. We write the 4 here. We save it again and then run it again. Now we got the false. Okay, so true and false. Okay, so our function correctly returns true for the first example, and false for the second example. Okay, so it's working fine. So let's So here's the complete code for our function. Okay, so let's have the easy explanation to summarize. Here's what our function does. It checks if both the arrays are on the same length. So first we check if both the arrays are on the same length. Okay, same length we check first. Okay, then it creates frequency counter for each array to track occurrences. So this is the frequency counter for each array to track the occurrences. Okay, so and then it verifies that each number in array 1 has square counterpart. Each number is in array 1 has square counterpart in array 2. Okay, so with matching frequency. Okay, and then we return true. Okay, so and that's it. We have created a function to check if every value in one array has a square equivalent in another. So with the same frequency, if you found this with the same frequency. Okay, so if you found this video helpful, please like, share and subscribe, and let me know in the comment what coding problem you would like to see the next. Thank you. Checking if two strings are anagram of each other in a quick and easy way. Okay, so this question mostly asked in the coding interviews. Okay, so we will use a straightforward approach to approach with sorting to see if one string can be rearranged to form the other. Let's get started. So the goal is simple. We have two strings, string 1 and string 2, and we need to check if we can rearrange the letters for string 1 to match string 2. So for example, let's say, so for example, if string 1 is string 1 is listen and string 2 silent. Okay, so they are anagrams. Okay, so they are anagrams, but if say they are anagrams, so it will give true. Okay, so but if we took so if string 1 is hello and string 2 is word, then they are not anagram. Okay, so it gives false. Okay, so that is the approach, that is the problem we need to solve. Okay, so we will create function called anagram, r anagram, and that takes two string 1 and string 2. So let's start. R anagram. Okay, so R anagram, and we take two strings, so str1 and comma str2. Fine, so our logic will be goes here. Okay, so the first thing we will check if the length of string 1 and string 2 are different. If they are, we know immediately they can't be anagram. Okay, so let me write if str1 dot length is not equal to str2 dot length, then we return false because the anagram cannot be possible. Okay, so if the length don't match, we return false and stop here. Okay, so next we will sort the letters of each string in alphabetical order. Okay, so sorting helps because if two strings are anagram, their sorted version will be identical. Okay, so let's write let sorted string 1, okay, str1 dot, then we split it, then we sort it, and then we join it. So same thing we will do for string 2. Okay, so here's what each line does. Okay, so split turns the string into an array of each character. Okay, then each character means, let me give the example. If I say listen, then it will give L comma I comma S comma T comma E comma then N. Okay, so this will be, if we split listen, we will get this array. Okay, and sort arranges those characters into alphabetical order. Okay, so then, so what sort to do here? Sort will arrange those characters in alphabetical order. Okay, so here we can say E comma I comma L comma N, then S, and then T. Okay, so it will sort like this, alphabetical order. Okay, so then join brings them back, and then we join, so it bring them back. So then after it will join like E, I, L, and S, T. So it could be like this. Okay, so finally we will check if sorted string 1 and sorted string 2 are same. If they are, it means string 1 and string 2 are anagram. Okay, so then return it, return sorted string 1, sorry, equal to sorted string 2. Okay, let me save it. Now let's test our function with example like listen, as I earlier given the example listen and hello. Okay, so let me console it and log or anagram. Let me pass two strings. Listen and then silent. We save it, and so it gives us true. Okay, so let's try with another example, like I said hello with hello word. Okay, so hello in second string word. Let me save it. So it will give the output first true and then second false. So this one is false. It's true and this is false. Okay. So listen and silent and non-anagram pairs like hello and word. Okay. So this function returns true for listen and silence, as I already write, and false for hello and word. Okay. So here's the full code. So here's the full code, you can see. Okay. So and so that's it. We solved the anagram problem with simple and efficient approach. Okay, so sorting approach for a practical coding problem, finding the unique objects in an array. Okay, so this is useful for removing duplicates in array when working with objects in JavaScript. We will walk through a simple approach step by step. So let's get started. Okay, so the problem we are solving today is to filter out duplicate from an array. For example, we have an input. So this is our input, and we want to get an uh, output like this. Okay, so with only unique objects left. Okay, so let's start by creating a function named getUniqueObject, and that takes an array as its parameter. Okay, so let me write the function name getParameter array. Okay, and we will write our logic here. Okay, so this function will process the array and return an array of unique objects. Okay, so we will use a JavaScript map to help us keep track of unique objects. Map lets us store each unique object using its name as a key. Okay, so let's start. Let unique map new map. The map will allow us to add an object only if hasn't been added before. Okay, so which will help us remove duplicates. Okay, so now we will go through each object in the array using for of loop. Okay, so let me write for of loop. Should be object. This should be our array. Okay, so we'll write our logic to check uniqueness here. Okay, so we will use this loop to check each object and see it's already in our lab map. Okay, so inside the loop we will use the name of each object as a unique identifier or key. Okay, so we will check if the name already exists in unique map. If the name doesn't exist it in unique map, it means it's a unique object, so we will add it. Okay, so we write if unique map dot have name, so unique map dot name comma obj. Okay, so as I said, if the name doesn't exist in unique map, it means a unique object, so we will add it once we are setting it here. Okay, so unique map dot has object dot name checks if the object name is already in the map. Okay, already in the map. Okay, so if it isn't, unique map dot set object dot name object adds a object to our map. Okay, so ensuring only the unique objects are added. Okay, so once we have finished looping through the array, okay, so all the unique objects will be stored in unique map. Okay, it will store in the unique map. I made a mistake here. Let me remove this. I got it. Okay, unique map, and to get them in an array format, we will use the map method dot values, which gives us all the values in the map. So what will we return from unique map dot, so we are returning value. Okay, so this final step converts the map values back into an array, which will be our output. Okay, so let's test our function with our example array. So to see if it is correctly returned only unique object. Okay, so let me console it and let me pass the array here. Again, so let's state all first. Okay, so the function should return only the unique objects as expected. So we got the expected output. So we got the expected output. You can see the unique objects in the output. Okay, so here is the complete code for our unique objects finder function. Okay, so this is the complete code. Okay, so and that's it. We successfully created a function to remove duplicates objects from an array using JavaScript. We used a map to keep track of unique objects and then return them as an array. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, share, and let me know in the comment what coding challenges you would like to see. Thank you. A simple but essential coding challenge or coding interview is a question. Okay, so finding the maximum number in an array using JavaScript. Okay, so this is a foundational program that comes up often in coding interview and in real life coding. Okay, so let's break it down step by step and find the largest number in an array. Okay, so the problem is simple. We have an array of numbers and we need to find the largest number in it. For example, if we have an array like 3, 5, 3, 5, 9, 2 and 8. Okay, so we want our output to be 9. Okay, since that's the biggest number in an array, so 9 is the biggest number in an array. Okay, so let's start by defining a function called find max, and that will take in an array as its parameter. Okay, so let's start. Find max, we take the parameter array. So we have created the function and we will write our logic here. Okay, so this function will hold the logic. We need to loop through the array and find the maximum number. Okay, so keep track of the largest number as we loop through the array. We will create a variable named max and set it to the first number in an array. Okay, so by starting with the first element, we have a baseline to compare other numbers against it. Okay, so let max. Okay, so that is the variable method and array of 0. So first number we have assigned to max. Okay, so this means if the array is if the array is 3, 5, 9 to 8. Okay, so the max will be the initial value. Initially we set it to 3. Okay, so this will be 3 because our first number is 3 in an array. Okay, so next we will use for loop to go through each number in an array. This loop will help us compare each number with the current max value. Okay, so let's write the loop. Okay, so for let I equal to 1, then I less than array dot length and I plus plus. Okay, so we are looping. So our comparison logic we will write here. Okay, so here we are starting the loop from I equal to 1 instead of 0. Okay, so because we have already set max to the first element in an array, first element in the array. Okay, so inside the loop we will use an if statement to check if the current number in the array is greater than our max value. Okay, so if the current number is bigger, we update max to be this new number. Okay, so let's write the condition here. If array of I is greater than max, then max equal to array of, so this will look okay. So this means if max was 3 and we encountered 5, we will update max to 5. Okay, and we continue doing this for each number. Okay, so each number in the array, so by the end max hold the largest value. Okay, so let me show you this. Let me console it here. Okay, log so array of I and comma and max. This will be max value, then this will be array of, sorry. Okay, and one more console. Okay, so we will give the max value here. Max value, and we console the max here. Okay, so in the console we will get everything, every value. Okay, so we will get array of I, then max, and then max value. Okay, so if this means if max was 3 and we encounter 5, we will update max to 5, and we continue doing this for each number in the array. So by the end max holds the largest value. Okay, so after the loop finishes, we have the largest number in max. Okay, so now we will return this value as the final result. Okay. After the loop max, return max. Okay, so this will give us the maximum number in the array. Okay, so let's test our function with a sample array to see if it gives the correct maximum number. Okay, so let me write log find max, and we will pass the array. We have this array. So we have, let me save it. Okay, no. So if you can see on the first loop, we will get 5, then the max value was 3. Okay, so we set the max value is 3, then 9, the max value was 5, so it is 5, then max value was 2. Okay, so I'm not doing this here, the max console, I guess I need to do here. Okay, so after changing the value, let me log and then we got the correct output, but let me show you the exact thing. Okay, so array of I in first case is 5, and that time the max value is 3. Okay, then we got the max value 5 here. So this is the max value. Let me remove this once again. So here is our console. Okay, so let me copy this. So on the first loop, we got array of I is 5, then that time the max value is 3 because we assign 3. Then after the condition, this condition, if array of I greater than max, we assign the maximum value, the array of I. If array of I is max, then we assign it to the max. Okay, so that the value of then 5. So likewise, for the in case of 9, we added the 9. Okay, so in the second case, here the condition was false because 2 is not maximum that 9. Then 8 also is not maximum that 9. It's not greater than 9. So the correct output is 9. So the biggest value in an array is 9. Okay, so with this example, we can see that our function correctly finds the maximum number in the different arrays, including arrays with negative numbers. Okay, so here is a full code. Okay, so and there you have it. We successfully created a function to find the maximum number in an array using a simple loop and comparison. Okay, so create a function that takes an array of numbers and returns only the even numbers. So we will go through two ways to solve this one. Okay, so one using basic for loop, which is great for beginners, and another using JavaScript filter methods, which is more concise. So let's dive in and learn both. Okay, so our task is to create function that is accept an array of numbers and return a new array containing only the even number. Okay, so for example, we have array 1. If we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so our function should return 2, 4, 6, 6. These are the even numbers. Okay, so let's start with the for loop approach, which is great if you are just getting into JavaScript. Okay, so we will define a function called filter even numbers that takes one parameter array. Okay, so let me write the function filter even numbers. Okay, and we take parameter array and then okay, so we will write our logic here. Okay, so inside the function, let's create an empty array called even numbers, and we will use this array to store only one number. Okay, so let even numbers and we make it empty. Okay, so next we will use for loop to go through each number in the array. Okay, so let's write the for loop or let r equal to 0, I less than or a dot when and I plus. Okay, so inside the loop we will use an if statement to check if the current number is even. Okay, so to do this we use array of I mod of 2 then triple equal to 0. If it's true, we add that number to the even number. So let's write that if array of I means index mod of percentage sign, if it's 0 then it is even number. Okay, so even numbers we push. If the condition is true, we push array of I. to the even numbers array. Okay, so we save it. Okay, so after the loop finishes, we return even numbers, which now contains only the even numbers from the original array. Okay, so let's revert. You so return return even numbers. Return even numbers. Okay. Let me write the log. We will pass this array the example, and we will pass this array the example I have given earlier. Okay, so let me save it and then run it. So we got the expected output. Okay, so let me show you what we got array of I here. So let me, okay, so you can also give you objects. So this will give us true or false, the condition. So it will help you to understand the for loop, how it works and what value we are getting, if the condition is actually true or false. Okay, let me run it again. So see, so first number is 1. 1 is not the even number, that is why this condition is failing. This condition is false. Okay, so it is false because it is false, that's why it is not go inside the if loop. So if okay, so then 2 is a true, so it enters to the line number 10. Okay, and then it push the 2 inside the even number. For 3 it falls, so it skip it. Then for 4 is and for 4 is true, so we are pushing means it pushes the 4 into the even numbers. Then for 5 it's false, so it is skipping it, then because it's not a even number. And then 6 is a true, so that is why it push the 6, because 6 is a even number, so that is why it pushes the 6 into the even numbers. So I have shown you the console of array of I, what actual value we are getting here, and checking if the condition is true or false. Okay, so final output is 2, 4, 6. Okay, so now let's try a different approach using JavaScript filters method. Okay, so which makes the code shorter and cleaner. Okay, so let me write that. Okay, let me create filter even numbers. Okay, so we already have this. Let me comment it down. First solution. Okay, so we will write our logic there. So inside the function we will use array.filter to create a new array of even numbers directly. So we will pass in a callback function. Okay, so num mod 2 triple equal to 0. So to check if each number is even, so we can directly write return array.filter, as I said. Then we have given mod 2 for equal to 0. So the same condition earlier we have used here, right? So same we are using here to check if the number is even number or not. Okay, so array.filter goes to each element in an array. Okay, and only keeps the ones that match our condition. Okay, so it return only those numbers that matches the condition. Okay, so num mod 2 triple equal to 0 checks if each number is even. If it's true, filter adds that number to a new array. Okay, so we return this new array directly without needing an additional for loop or pushing to an empty array. Okay, so this is our simple code. So complete code for our second solution of filter. So ignore that commented part. You can directly write this. Okay, so let me save it and run the project. So we got the expected out. Here as well. 2, 4, 6. 2, 4, 6 are the even numbers. Okay, so we have seen two ways to solve this problem, one with the for loop and one with the filter. So this is with the for loop, one with the for loop and one with the filter. Okay, so the for loop approach is great if you are just starting out, as it breaks down each part of the process and gives you more control over each step. Okay, so the filter method is a shorter and more elegant, but it assumes you are compatible with JavaScript higher order function. So this is one of the higher order function in the JavaScript. Okay, so and that's it. We have successfully created two versions of function to filter out even numbers from an array. If you found this, check if number is prime in JavaScript using not one but two different methods. Okay, so understanding how to identify prime number is a valuable skill in programming, whether you are preparing for the interview or improving your coding logic. Okay, so let me give you the quick recap about the prime number. Means what is the prime number? Okay, so a prime number is any whole number greater than 1 that has no divisor other than 1 and itself. Okay, so numbers like 2, 3, 5, 7 are prime, while 4, 6 and 9 are not. Okay, so let's solve our problem with a first method. Let me write method 1, and this method is iterative solution with a for loop. Iterative solution with for loop. Okay, so let's start by defining a function. Okay, so is prime and we take one parameter num. Okay, so we have write the function called is prime and that will take one parameter, that is taking one parameter num. Okay, so num, which is number we want to check. Okay, num is the number that we wanted to check. Okay, so let's handle the edge cases here. Okay, so we first check if the number is less than or equal to 1. Okay, so if num is less than equal to 1. Okay, then equal to 1. So number 1 or less than aren't prime. Okay, so we will return false right away for these cases. So it will not execute the further code. So now let's set up a loop to check for a divisor. Okay, so we set up a for loop to go for 2 up to the square root of number. Okay, so let me write it. Okay, so for loop, right, let I equal to 2, then I less than equal to math dot, we take the square root, then num and I plus plus. So this is because if num is divisor larger than its square root, okay, it will also have a smaller factor. Okay, so checking up to the square root save the times. If you use square root, it saves over times. Okay, so inside the loop, we check if num is divided by I and num is divided by I. Okay, num is divided by I and return false. Okay, so then num has a divisor other than 1 and itself. Okay, other than 1 and itself, so it's not a prime number, and we return false. Okay, so lastly, if we return true if there is no divisor are found. Okay, so return true. Okay, so if we complete the loop without finding any divisor, then num is a prime number, so we return true. So let me save it. Okay, so let me console it. Log is prime and let's pass 7 and see the output. Save is 2. So 7 is a prime number. Okay, so it will give true. So now let me console.log is prime. Let me pass 10. This must be false. So it is giving false. So our function is working. It's our logic working completely fine. Okay, now we will use the second method. Okay, so second method is a recursive solution. So second method is a recursive solution. Now let me comment it out. Write the method to recursive solution. So we are not going to use the for loop here. Okay, so now let's try recursive solution. We will define a function called is prime recursive. Okay, so is prime recursive. Is prime recursive. Okay, so and that takes two parameters. Okay, num, the number we are checking, and divisor starting with 2. Okay, so num, then comma, then divisor which we assign 2. Okay, so starting with 2. So the function will call itself to handle the check. Okay, so just like before, if num is less than or equal to 1, we return false because 1 or less cannot be prime. So that I already explained earlier. Num is less than or equal to 1, we return false. Okay. Now, if divisor exceeds the square root of num, that means we have checked all possible divisor without finding any. So we return true, indicating num is prime. Okay, so if divisor is greater than math dot square root of num, then we return true. So we return true, indicating num is prime. Okay, so num is divisible by divisor, then num has a factor other than 1 and itself, so it's not prime. So let me write that if num is divisible by divisor is equal to 0, okay, then we return false. It means it's not a prime number, so it's not prime and we return false. Okay, so if now we need to have the recursive call. If no condition have met it, we make a recursive call. Okay, so a recursive call, let me return is prime recursive, then pass the num and so divisor plus 1. Okay, so if no condition have been met, we make a recursive call increasing the divisor by 1 to check the next potential factor. Okay, so that is how we can do work with the recursive. Let me test it. So you can see for first we got the true and for second we got the false. So 7 is a prime number, 10 is not a prime number. Okay, so this is the code with recursive solution, and this is the code with iterative solution. With for loop. Okay, so let's test. So we already tested it and we got the expected out. Okay, so our function is working fine. Both the functions are working fine. So, and yeah, that's it. We have explored 2 ways to check if a number is prime in JavaScript. First using a for loop. And which is straightforward and efficient. Then we learn a recursive approach that useful for those who want a functional solution without loop. Okay, so this is without loop, the solution without loop. Okay, so if you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, share, and let me know in the comment which approach you prefer. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video. Thank you. Means how to find the largest number in a nested array using JavaScript. Okay, so we will break it down step by step, and by the end you will be pro at handling nested arrays. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so find the largest number in this nested array. Okay, so find the largest number in this nested array. This is the commonly asked interview questions in JavaScript. Okay, so the array contains other arrays. So you can see the array contains other arrays. Okay, so you need to search through all the elements, so no matter how deep they are. Okay, so we solve this problem using recursive because recursion is a perfect fit for situation where you need to process nested data structure like arrays. Okay, so let's see the step-by-step code and explanation. Okay, so we start by creating a function named find largest in nested array. Okay, find largest in nested array. Okay, so this is our function. Okay, so inside we initialize a variable max with -infinity. So let max to minus infinity. Okay, so this infinity ensures that any number in the array will be larger than our initial value. Okay, so that we can call it the smallest possible. So we can call it the smallest possible value. Okay, this could be our smallest possible value. Mistake. Okay, so now let's iterate through an array. Okay, so we will use for of loop to go through each element in the array. Okay, so for of. Okay, so we type array. Okay, sorry, I forget to us. Okay, so we will need one parameter array. Okay, so we will use for of loop to go through each element in the array. So okay, so if the element is an array, we check using array.isArray. Okay, so let me write it. If array.isArray element. Okay, so then we write the logic for the maximum value is array. We call the same function on that array to deeper. Okay, so math.max to find the maximum number, math.max, and then we will use find, means the same function we will call. So if it's number, we update max using math.max. Okay, so to ensure it always holds the largest value found so far. Okay, so let me write that else. So in else case, max math.max, then the max and the element. Okay, so if it's a number, we update max using math.max to ensure it holds the largest value found so far. Okay, so let me return max. Okay, so once we have checked every element in the array and in any nested array, okay, so we return the largest value stored in max. Okay, sorry, it should be outside of for. Okay, so now we pass over. So let's see this. We pass what comes the nested array. This is our nested array. Okay, so this is our nested array. Let me copy. Okay. This is our nested array 3, 4. Means we have the main array, and inside that we have the array of 3, 4, 5, 8, and comma, then array of 7, 0, 9, 8, 9, array of 10, 11. Okay, and then array of 111, 2. Okay, so let me pass this content log. We need to check the log, find the largest, and we will pass the nested array. We save it. Okay, so we pass our nested array into the function and print the result. Let me give the result. We are getting error, math T is not defined. Okay, there must be some typo mistake. Let me save it. Okay, so 709 is the maximum value from our array. Let me change it to some other 803. So 803 could be the largest value. Let me console it again. So 803 is the largest value. Okay, so let me explain the execution. Okay, so we start with uh, okay, so we start with 3 4 8 5 8, then array of 7 0 9 8 9. Inside of that array we have array of 10 11 and then a triple 1 2. Okay, so the first level is the first array 3 4 8 is processed. Okay, so this is the first array. Okay, so the first array is processed the largest value so far. So it will give us a 58. 58 is the largest value. Okay, so, and the second level, the second array 70989 and array of 1011. Okay, so array of 1011 is processed. So inside it we have 1011. The array of 1011 is a nested array. So the function is called recursively. Okay, so the function is called recursively. So then the largest value in 1011 is 11. Okay, so largest current level becomes, so inside this we have 11, but the largest in the current level becomes 709. Okay, so now the third level. So third level means we have third array. So that is what the third array triple 1 2 is processed the largest value triple 1. Okay, so the finally compare all means 58, then 709 and triple 1. Compare all and then we will get the result 709 because 709 is the largest value in the nested array. Okay, so you can see the complete code. So this is our complete code. This is our complete code. Okay, so yeah, and that's it, how you can find the largest element in a nested array using JavaScript. And this recursive solution is efficient and helps you handle data structure of any element. Okay, so if you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more coding tutorials, and let me know in the comments what challenges you had like me to tackle next. Thanks for watching. Learn how to generate the Fibonacci sequence in JavaScript. Okay, so we will go through it step by step using a simple and easy to understand approach. By the end, you will know how to code this sequence yourself. So let's jump right in. We need a JavaScript function that takes a number as input and it will generate the Fibonacci sequence up to that many terms. Okay, so what is the Fibonacci sequence? Okay, so in a Fibonacci sequence, each number is the sum of the two preceding numbers. It usually starts with 0 and 1. So 0 1 and 1 2 3 5 8 like this. Okay, so we will use loop to calculate each term in the sequence up to the specified count. Let's walk through the code step by step. Okay, so we will define a function called generate Fibonacci. Okay, this is our function. We will take one parameter here, the num terms. This is our function. Okay, so and this num terms represent the number of terms we want in the sequence. So inside the function we initialize an empty array and okay, let's empty array let Fibonacci sequence. Okay, and we take it as an empty. So what we do here, this is we initialize empty array to store the sequence. Okay, to store the sequence. Fibonacci number has been calculated. Okay, so the next step. So next step we use the if condition. Okay, if num terms is 0 or negative, we return an empty array because no terms are requested. Okay, so if num terms is less than or equal to 0, then we return Fibonacci sequence. Okay, so we do this because no terms requested. No terms requested. Okay, so next we need to check if num terms is 1, we return 0 since the first term in Fibonacci is 0. Okay, so if num terms is equal to 1, so if num terms is 1, then we return array of 0. Okay, so we are returning the first term. Return the first term. First term only because the num terms are 0 or in 1 only in this case. Okay, so let's initialize the first two terms. So these two terms, if we don't have any num terms or we have the single for one term only. Okay, so in this case this logics works perfectly fine, will work perfectly fine. So if we initialize the first two terms, means if we have first two terms, okay, so then Fibonacci sequence, then we will write 0, 1. Okay, so here we start the sequence with first two terms. Okay, so if we need more than one terms, we start by adding the first two terms of the sequence 0 and 1 to the Fibonacci sequence array. Okay, so we have added that here. Okay, so now we need to write the loop to calculate the remaining terms. So now we loop starting from the third position. So index is 2 up to num terms. Okay, so let me write the loop for let I is equal to 2, and I less than num terms I plus. Let next term okay, let me write the code first, then I will explain the code. I minus 1 plus Fibonacci sequence I minus 2, then we will push Fibonacci sequence dot push, then we will push the next term here. Okay, let me explain this code now. Okay, so now we loop starting from the third position. So index is 2 up to the num terms. Okay, so inside the loop we calculate each next term as the sum of two previous terms in the sequence of Fibonacci sequence of I minus 1 uh, plus Fibonacci sequence of I minus 2. So then we add next term to the Fibonacci sequence. We are pushing the next term in the Fibonacci sequence. Okay. Now we need to return Fibonacci sequence. Okay. So after the loop finishes, the Fibonacci array contains all the terms we wanted. So we return it as a result. Okay. So let's test it. Log generate Fibonacci, and let's take example as 7. Okay, let me test it. Let's test it. So we got the expected output. So the output is 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8. So we are calculating up to 7 terms only. So that because of that it is giving the output up to 8. Okay, so here we call generate Fibonacci with 7 to get the first 7 terms of the Fibonacci sequence. The output should be 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8. Okay, so that is what we get. Okay, in the term of sequence. Okay, so let me explain you the give you the walkthrough of the execution. Okay, so we pass the input 7. Okay, then we start with 0 and 1. Okay, so in the first iteration I is equal to 2, then the next term is Fibonacci sequence of I minus 1 means 2 minus 1, 1 plus 2 minus 2, 0. Okay, so our result becomes 0, 1, 1. In the likewise in the third case our result becomes 0, 1, 1, 2. In the third iteration the i's value will be 4 and our Fibonacci sequence becomes 0, 1, 1, 2, 3. In the fourth iteration the i's value will become a 5 and our Fibonacci sequence becomes 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5. On the fifth iteration the i's value is 6. Okay, so Fibonacci sequence become 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8. Okay, so the final array is 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8. Okay, so that is the expected output we get. Okay, yeah, so and there you have it. Okay, this is how you generate the Fibonacci sequence in JavaScript using a simple iterative approach. Okay, so if you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon to get notified about the future videos. And let me know in the comments if you have any questions or suggestions for other topics. Thanks for watching and happy coding. In this video, we will learn how to count occurrences of each character in a string using JavaScript. Okay, so understanding character frequency is a common task in coding interviews and text analysis. I will break this problem down step by step. So let's get started. Okay, so let's understand what is the task first. Okay, so we need to write a JavaScript function that takes a string as an input and tell us how many times each character appears in the string. So let me give you the example. Okay, so example if I give this, if the string is hello, okay, if the input is hello, okay, our string is hello, the output should be like, so H is one time only, E is two time, then L is, sorry, E is also one time, L is two times, and O is one time. Okay, okay, if the string is hello, the expected output would be H is one time, E is one time, then L is two times, and O is one time. So we will use an object to store the characters as keys and their counts as values. Okay, so let's dive into the code. We will define a function called count characters and that accept the parameter string. Okay, so let me write count characters. Okay, and we will have then parameter string. Okay, so inside the function we create an empty object char count. Okay, so let me char count. Okay, and sorry, it must be empty object. Okay, so this will store each character as a key. Okay, so this will store each character as key and its count as the value. Okay, so let me write here, we initialize empty object to store character counts. Okay, so now next we will loop through each character. Okay, we will loop through each character. So okay, so we use a for of loop to iterate through each character in the string. Okay, so let me write for let char of string. Okay, so to handle the case sensitivity, okay, so what if there are some letters are capital and some letters are capital and some are small case. Okay, so for handling this, to handle the case insensitivity, okay, so we convert each character to lowercase. Okay, so first we'll do the char dot to lowercase, the inbuilt method we will use. So it convert characters to lowercase for case insensitivity. Case insensitivity. Okay, so now inside the loop we will check if the character already exists as a key in char count. Okay, so if it exists, increment its value by 1, If doesn't exist, add the character as a key with an initial value. Okay, so let me write if char count of char. Okay, so char count of char plus if it already exists. Okay, so let me write here to understand. So if character exists, increment is count. Okay. And in else case, what we will do, char count of char should be 1. Okay, so if it's a new character. Okay, so if it's a new character, we initialize its count to this count to 1. Okay, so this will be understandable. Guys, please like the video. Okay, so if you like, it will circulate to the more people. Okay, so as I explained, I have written the code. Okay, so now once we finish the loop, we need to return the char count. Okay, so char count object. Okay, so which contains the counts of all character. Okay, so let me write return char count. Okay, so it return the final object with characters exist. Okay, so let me write it returns the final objects with characters count. Okay, so let's test this function if it is working properly or not. Okay, so log count characters. Okay, so let me pass hello, and we're expecting the output here. Oh, I guess we already done it above, so we're expecting this output. Okay, so let me save it and run the program. Okay, so we got the expected output. The count of H is 1, the count of E is 1, count of L is 2, and count of O is 1. Okay, so let's test it with some other character. Okay, let me write the JavaScript. Save it and then run it again. Okay, so here J's count is 1, A's count is 2, V's count is 1, then A's count is 2, then V's count is 1, S count is 1, C's count is 1, R count is 1, I count is 1, P count is 1, and T count is 1. So we got the expected answer. Okay, so let me explain the code line by line. Okay, we first initialize the char count. Okay, then we loop, then the loop started. Okay, so we use for of loop. Okay, so in the first character we got the H. Okay, so first character we got the H, and H is not in the char count. H is not in the char count, because the char count is empty object, not in the, so h is moved to the char count. Okay, it is added to the char count as h1, because it's a 1 only. Okay, in the second iteration the character is e. In case of hello, the character is e, and e is not in the char count, so add it in. So it is added in the empty object. Okay, e1. Okay, so this operation will happen in this case. Okay, so in this case this happen. Okay, so in the third iteration likewise we will get L as a one time. Okay, in the fourth iteration we got the L again, so it will be the value of the count of L is 2. In the fourth iteration we have fifth iteration we have the O, so the value of O is count of O is count of 0 is 1. Count of O is 1. Confusing between 0 and 1. 0 and O, sorry. So we got the expected output. Okay, so here is the complete code. How to write a JavaScript function to sort an array of numbers in ascending order. Okay, so sorting is a fundamental task in programming, we all know, and it understands how it works in crucial for every developer. Okay, I mean, understanding how it works is a crucial for every developer. Okay, so I will explain this in a simple steps, so stick around to the master this concept. Okay, to master this concept. Okay, so let me give you what is the task and what is the problem overview. Okay, so we need to write a JavaScript function that takes an array of numbers as input and returns a new array with the numbers sorted from smallest to largest. Okay, so if the input is 5, 3, 8, 1 and 4, the expected output should be 1, 3, 5, 4, 5, 8. Okay, so for getting the expected output, okay, we will use the built-in sort method of JavaScript and pass a comparison function to it. Okay, so let's write the code step by step. Okay, so we will define a function named sort array ascending, and that takes an array as an input. Okay, wait a minute. Sort array ascending. Okay, so and we need to pass array as a parameter, and then okay, so now we write our function. So inside the function we will use dot sort method to sort the array. Okay, if sort the array, and this method modifies the original array and sort it in place. Okay, so let me write return then array dot sort a comma b. So we will pass a comparison function to ensure the numbers are sorted in ascending order. So for this we will do a minus b. This is very simple coding. Okay, and that's it. That is how we can get our expected output. Okay, so for let me console it. Let's test it. What is our input earlier? Sorry. We console, then we need to pass. Then we need to pass. Okay, let me save it. Okay, we got the error. AA is not defined. Okay, this is why it's showing. Okay, now it will work. 1, 3, 4, 5, 8. Okay, we got the expected output. Okay, so let me explain that. The comparison function a comma the comparison function a comma b means a minus b. Okay, means a comma b and then arrow function a minus b. Okay, it works as like if a minus b is negative. Okay, if a minus b is negative, we write a minus b is negative. Okay, if a minus b is negative, means it should come before b. Okay, it should come before b. Okay, in second case, if a minus b is positive, it means b should come before a. Okay, and if a minus b is 0, their order doesn't change. Okay, their order doesn't change. Okay, so we test our function with this input 538 and we get the and we sort it to 1, 3, 4, 5, 8. Means we get the expected output. Now let's check whether with some other inputs. Okay, let me write 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now check the expected output. We got the 1, 2, 3 because it is remain unchanged since it's already sorted. Then we can write some minus values. Okay, minus 3, 10, 0, 5, 7. Okay, let's test this function, test this value. So we got the expected output. Okay, so that's how you are that's how you can sort an array in ascending order using JavaScript. So we use dot sort method with a comparison function for numerical sorting. Okay, if this video helped you, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon for notification. To write a JavaScript function to sort an array of numbers in descending order. Okay, so sorting is a common task in programming and today we are explore how to do it easily in JavaScript using custom logic for descending order. Okay, so we need to create a JavaScript function that takes an array of numbers as input and sorts them from the largest to the smallest. Okay, so the input could be 5, 3, 8, 1, 4 and then the descending order the output should be 8, 5, 4, 3 and 1. Okay, so we will use a JavaScript built-in sorted method, but we will customize it with a comparison function to sort the numbers in descending order. Okay, so first we will define a function named sort array descending, and that takes an array as an input. Okay, sort array descending. Okay, so and we take array as a parameter. Okay, so we define a function named sort array descending, and that takes array as input. Okay, so inside the function we use dot set sort method to sort the array in place. Okay, so let me write return array dot sort a comma b. Okay, so we pass a comparison function b minus a. So this ensures the array is sorted in descending order. If you saw my previous video for ascending order, we in case of ascending order we do it a minus b. So in case of descending order we need to do b minus a. So this ensures the array is sorted in descending order. Okay, so the comparison function. So let me understand the comparison function, please, how it works. Okay, let me test it first. Let me log and then sort descending, and we will pass this input. Save it and run. Okay, so we got the expected output 85431. So descending array. Okay, so let me explain here the comparison function. If b minus a is positive, b comes before a. Okay, b comes before a. Okay, so if b minus a is negative, a comes before a, and if b minus a is 0, the order remains unchanged. So that is how the logic works here. The comparison function works here. Okay, so let's test with some other example as well. Let me give you 10 comma minus 3 comma 0 comma 5 comma 7. Okay, let me save it and then run it again. So 10 7 5 0 7. The descending order is 10 7 5 0 and minus 3. So what if we pass 1 2 3? Comma 2 comma 3. So 3 2 1. Sorts to 3 2 1. And that's how you can sort an array in descending order using JavaScript. So as I said, we used the dot sort method with a custom comparison function to arrange the numbers from largest to smallest. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel and share it with your friends. For an interesting challenge, reversing the order of words in a sentence using JavaScript without without using the built-in reverse method. So, think this sounds tricky, right? Don't worry, we will break it down step by step in a simple terms. Okay, so we need to reverse the order of words in a sentence. Okay, so let me take the example. If the input is hello world, okay, hello world, and how are you? The expected output should be like you are, how word, hello. Okay, so the approach we will use, we will split the sentence into words, reverse their order manually, and join them back together to form the reversed sentence. Okay, so we define a function reverse word that accept the. So let me define. Okay, let me write the code first, then I will explain line by line. Okay, so reverse words, and we will take sentence as a parameter. Okay, so the first step is we will split the sentence into an array of words using dot split, where each word is separated by space. Okay, so let me do it. Let me take the words, one variable, and then sentence dot split. So we split by space. Let me write it. This is the step 1 we are doing. Split the sentence in word. Okay, split the sentence in word. Okay, so then we create an empty array to hold the reverse word. Okay, so let reverse words. Okay, so it is empty array. Okay, so this is our step 2. Step 2, empty array to hold reverse words. Okay, so words in the reverse order. Reverse order word. This better. Okay, sort of words. Okay, then let me write. Then we will use the for loop. Let me write the for loop first. Then I will explain. Then words dot length -1, comma, then I greater than or equal to 0, comma, then I minus, because we need to reverse, so that is why I use I minus. Okay, then reverse word dot push words of I. Okay, so using a for loop, we start from last word in the array and push each word into the reverse word. Okay, so so let me write here. Okay, we push each word from the end of words. End of words. Okay, into reverse words. Okay, so then sorry. Finally, we need to join it. Okay, so return. So reverse word dot join. We join by space. Okay, that is our step 4. Okay, this is our step 3. Step 4. Step 3, and this is step 4. Join the reverse word into sentence. Okay. Separated by space. So we have given the space here, the separated by space. So let's test the function. Okay. Then log reverse word. This is our sentence. Okay. Let me copy it from above. Save it, and the expected output could be like this. So the expected output should be like this. Let me run it. So you are how word hello. So we got the expected output. So okay, so let me explain the execution. So first we take the input hello world, how are you. Okay, so we split by space, split into the words by space. Okay, so we got here, let me write quickly. So we got here hello, then hello world, sorry, then how, then so comma would be here, and r, then let me give it to in the console. So log so it's better understanding. Okay, so once we split it, we got this. So the output of this. Okay, so looping backward. Now we use the for loop and looping it backward. Okay, so looping backward means, so first word is u, so we added the u in the reverse word on the first side, in the first step. Then second, then r, second r, then how, then word, and then hello. That is how it is added here, and then in last we joined it. So we got the you are how word hello. So that is how the code works. Okay, and that's it, how you can reverse the order of words in a sentence without using reverse. We split the sentence loop through it backward and join the words to form the reverse sentence. Welcome back to Frontend Insights. Today we will see how to flatten a nested array into a single dimensional array. So I will use two different methods in JavaScript. Okay. So the first method, uh, uh, I use recursion, and the second method, uh, so I will use the built-in flat method. Okay, so by the end of this video, you will understand both techniques and know when to use each. Okay, so the goal is to turn a deeply nested array like array like this array. We have the main array, then inside that we have the array of 1, 2, and inside of that array we have array of 3, and then over them array of then inside of that array of 6 and 7. And if we flat that array, then we need to convert that array into a single dimensional array. Okay, so the flat array is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, so if the input is, the output, expected output would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in a single dimensional array. Okay, I hope you understand this. Okay, so let me write the logic for this. Okay, so I will use the recursive method first. Okay, so let me create the function first. The function name is flatten array recursive. Okay, so and we'll pass the array as a parameter. Okay, so the first step in the recursive way, we need create an empty array to hold the flatten result. So let's create let result is a empty array. Okay, and the second one, loop through each element in the array. Okay, so let's use the for of loop for the elements of array. Okay, so now then we will check if the array is if the array is actual array or not. Okay, so check if the element is means this element is an array or not. Okay, so for this we need to write the if condition. If array dot is array. Okay, so it checks if it is array or not. Okay, so then we call the function recursively and concatenate. Okay, so result I will explain each the line by line concept after this code. Okay, so then we will call our recursive function array. Okay, so else if it's not array, then we directly push it into the single dimensional result dot push and then element. Okay, so if it's not array, we push the element into the result. So now the last step is we need to return our result. Now test it. Log flatten array, and we need to pass the array here. So we have this. Okay, and our expected output would be this single dimensional array. Okay, so let me save it and then test it. There is an error. Let me check. Maximum call stack size exists. Okay, let me check. Where is the error? Okay, the error. I should pass the element there, not the main actual array. That is why. Okay, let's test it again. Okay, so we got the expected output 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now I will tell you the line by line explanation. Okay, so we start with the empty array. So this array to hold the flatten result in the flatten array. Okay, those. Okay, now the second step. The first element 1, 2, and 3. This is the first element 1, 2, and 3. So it's an array. It's an array. So it called flatten array recursive. This method again. Okay, and it will loop through again just that. Okay, so inside the recursive call. Okay, so let me write that. So here we look through each element in the array. Okay, and then sorry, this must be here. And then here we check if the element is an array. Okay, then if it is array, then we call the function recursively. Call the function recursively and concatenate. Okay, and then if it's not array, okay, if it's not an array, we push the element. Okay, so we push the element here. And then finally we return the result. So let me explain it. Return the element. Okay, so I will tell you the logic behind this, means how it actually works. Okay, so we start with the empty array, the result. Okay, then we check, then we look through each element in an array. Okay, so and then we check if the element is array. Yes, element is array in the first step. Okay, so 1, 2, and 3, this one the array. Okay, so it again call the function call the function recursively. Okay, then again it checks. So 1 and 2, it flatten the 1 and 2 and then check 3. Okay, so 3 is also array. Then again it call the function recursively. Okay, call the function recursively and add it to the result. Okay, so likewise it performs the recursive function recursively on all array elements. Okay, so let's use the flat method. So I will tell you, let's use the flat method. Let me comment this. It's just a one-line solution. I simply return array dot flat and we pass infinity. So what it does, it flatten the array to a new depth using infinity. It doesn't matter how long your array, it always flatten the array. Okay, so we call the flat infinity onto the array. Okay, and then the flat method goes through every element and flattening the nested array at any depth, and then it creates the new array. So our expected output would be this. Okay, so let me save it and run this again. Let me clear the terminal, and now we get the expected output with this method as 2. This is the method 2. Okay, so both methods produce the same result, but each has response and cause. Okay, so recursive, in case of recursive method, means it gives full control over how you handle each element, and then it is useful for custom operations during the flattening, and also it slightly more complex to the cons is slightly more complex to write. Okay, so in the flat method, it's single line and concise and perfect for straightforward use cases, but we have the less control over individual operations here. Okay, so that is the final code. This is the first method. This is the first method. So this is our first method, and this is our second method. Okay, so we explored 2 ways to flatten a nested array in JavaScript: the recursive method and the flat method. Okay, so choose the method that suits your needs: recursive for custom control and flat for simplicity. Want to know how to convert a string like a.b.c, comma some value, okay, into a nested object, okay, like this, into a nested object like this. So in 2 ways. Okay, so today I will show you both a detailed manual method and a simpler one-liner solution using JavaScript. Let's get started. Okay, so our input is a string of a.b.c and a string and a value, some value. Okay, it is also a string. Okay, and our goal is to convert this input into a nested object like this. This is our nested object. We copy it, we format it. Okay, so we expect this output. Okay, so this is useful. This is useful in a scenario like handling configuration, dynamic object creation, or building JSON structure. Okay, so this is like a JSON only. Okay, so let me start the coding by first approach. Okay, by first method. Okay, so let me the solution 1 is a manual approach. It's a manual approach. So we use loop here, using loops. Okay, so let me create the function first. Convert to nested object. Okay, and it will take two parameters, one is string and the value. Okay, so now split the string by dot, because we have dot here, a dot b dot c. So let split the string by dot here. Okay, I will get now, just a second, let me write the log here. So log and then convert to nested object, and then we will pass this string. Okay, that's it. Okay, so the first string is a dot b dot c and the value is some value. Okay, so let me go through line by line. Okay, so first we need to split the const, then keys. What are the keys we have? Is clear or means the string dot split, and we split it by dot. Okay, we split the string by dot. Okay, now we need to initialize a empty object where we have our result. Okay, result, and we assign it as a empty object. Okay, so now we need some pointer where means where the nested structure, where we build the nested structure. Okay, so let current result. Let me add the comment as well, so that it will easy to understand for you. Okay, so split the string by dot. Okay, and then second one, we initialize an empty object, and then we use a pointer to build the nested what we call nested structures. Okay, now let's use a for loop. So for, let me write first, for let I equal to 0, then I less than keys dot length, then we give I plus plus. So the current key, we need to get the current key first. Okay, so for this const key, and we have keys of I. Okay, let me write, we get the current key. Okay, then we will check the condition, like check if the key is last key. Okay, so this we need to write if I is equal to keys dot length minus 1. So we are using this for check if it's check if it's the last key. Okay, and if it is the last key, then we have created one pointer object. Okay, sorry, then key equal to value. Okay, so we assigning the value to current of key. Later I will explain all the code again. Then else, so in else condition what we would have, then we have the current key, so we will make it empty object. Okay, so we create it as a create an empty object. Okay, then we move the pointer. So what we doing here, we move the pointer to next level, and yes, yeah, and that's it. And then the result, okay, we need to return the result here. So let's test it. So this is our nested object. In case we made some mistake, we are getting empty. Let me check. Okay, this could be length GTH. Okay, so on my mistake, let's test it again. Okay, so we got the expected output. So let me explain you once again line by line. Okay, so first we split the string by dot. Okay, so then if we split it, then we will get array of a comma b comma c. Okay, and these are the strings. Okay, so we will get the, if we do split, then we will get this array ABC, array of ABC, and we split the string by the dot to create an array of keys. Okay, so those are our keys of the object. Okay, so then we initialize the result. Okay, and this will store the final nested loop. Okay, then we iterate through the keys array. Okay, so we iterate through the keys array. Okay, so then we need to handle the last key. Okay, so for the last key is C. So for the last key, assign the value. Okay, so here we check if it is the last key. If it's the last key, then we assign the value, and our value is some value. Okay, and then For keys like A and B, create an empty object. Okay, so for keys A and B, we created the empty object. Okay, and then move deeper into the structure to keep adding the keys. Okay, keep adding the keys. Okay, so then we return the result and we get the final output. Sorry, and then we will get our expected final output. Okay, now I will go to the simplest way. Let me comment it down. So our solution to we write the simplified approach. So for this approach we will use reduce right. Okay, so for this again we will have function convert to nested object. Then we will need to pass str, the string and the value. Okay, and then we will use the reduce right. Okay, so return str dot split. So here also we need to split by dot. Then we'll apply. So reduce right ht. Then we will have accumulator and key. Accumulator and key. So inside that we will write our object, the keys and value accumulator, and last we have value. So that is the one-liner solution using reduce right. Okay, so let's test it first, then I will explain. Okay, so here also we got the expected output. Okay, so we split the a dot b dot c. We split it a dot b dot c and we got the array of like this, array of string of a, b and c. Okay, so then start from the last key, the C we have, and work backwards. Okay, so wrap each key around the accumulator object. Okay, so start with the value, some value, and we start with the key some value. Here is our key. Okay, we start with the key some value, then add C to some value, and then let me write this. So what we do it, we add C colon then some value. Okay, so we started from last, then we add B so let me copy it quickly. Let me add B. Okay, then we add A. Then we add A. Okay, and then return the final out. Means return the means we already write the return here, and then we will get we got the final output. Okay, so if I compare the two methods, okay, so the manual approach is easier to follow the step by step and more flexible for customization. Okay, so for shorter and cleaner code, for simplified approach, shorter and cleaner code using functional programming, and it is ideal for concise solution. Okay. So today we saw two methods to convert a string into a nested object in JavaScript, the manual approach and the detail control. Okay, and simplified approach for concise solution. So which one is your favorite? Let me know in the comment. And don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more JavaScript tips and tricks. See you in the next video. Thank you.